The box arrives on a Tuesday morning. It sits on the counter at the Callahan County Historical Society, unremarkable among the donations that come through the door each month. Inside are the remnants of a single family's life. Letters bound with string, journals with cracked leather covers, photographs stacked between sheets of tissue paper. Teagan opens the box. She has been an archivist here for 6 years. She knows the routine. Every item must be cataloged. Every photograph must be dated. Every letter must be preserved. She pulls on cotton gloves and begins. The first photograph she lifts from the box is formal. It shows a family of 5. A father stands on the left, his hand on the back of a chair. A mother sits in the center, her dress pressed and proper. 3 children surround her, 2 boys and a girl. Their faces are serious. As was the custom in 1908, the date is written on the back in faded ink. Teagan notices something else. Behind the family, standing slightly apart, is another man. He is younger than the father. His clothes are dark and plain. His hands rest at his sides. His expression is neutral. He does not touch the family. He does not smile. He simply stands there, a figure in the background of their portrait. The box includes a handwritten note from the donor. It lists the family members by name. The Bradleys. Marcus Bradley, the father. Aurelia Bradley, the mother. The 3 children are named as well. Travis, the eldest son. Santino, the younger boy. Poppy, the daughter. At the bottom of the note, there is a final line. It reads, "The man in the back is unknown. He was not family and we have no record of his name." Teagan pauses. A formal portrait in 1908 was expensive. Families saved for months to afford a sitting with a photographer. Every person in the frame was chosen with care. Yet this man, this stranger, was included, and no one remembered his name. She returns to the box. More photographs emerge. One shows the Bradley children as teenagers, gathered on a porch. Another shows Marcus Bradley standing outside a mill. Teagan sorts them by date, arranging them in chronological order. Then she finds the second photograph. It is dated 1928, 20 years after the first portrait. The image shows the Bradley family again. Marcus and Aurelia are older now. Their hair has grayed. Their faces show the lines of middle age. The children are adults. Travis wears a suit. Santino stands with his arm around a woman. Poppy holds a baby. The photograph was taken outdoors, in a garden. There is a stone wall in the background. Flowers climb the wall. And standing beside that wall, partially visible, is the same man from the 1908 portrait. Teagan leans closer. She compares the 2 photographs side by side. The man's face is identical. His hair is the same. His posture is the same. 20 years have passed for the Bradley family, but this man has not changed. He has not aged a single day. Teagan's routine task has become something else. She is no longer cataloging a donation. She is looking at an impossibility. The investigation begins with the Bradleys themselves. Teagan contacts Vanessa, a local historian who specializes in the town's early families. Vanessa knows the Bradleys well. They were prominent in the community. They owned the Bradley Mill, a grain operation that employed dozens of workers. They attended church every Sunday. They were listed in every city directory from 1900 to 1950. But Vanessa finds no record of the man. No boarder lived with the Bradleys in 1908. No servant matched his description. No business associate was photographed with them. He does not appear in the census. He does not appear in the tax rolls. He is nowhere in the historical record. Teagan brings in a specialist. Kayla is a forensic photograph analyst. She examines old images for authenticity. She can detect alterations, composites, and double exposures. Teagan asks her to look at the 1908 portrait. Kayla studies the photograph under magnification. She checks the emulsion. She examines the paper stock. She analyzes the light sources and shadows. After 2 days, she delivers her conclusion. The photograph is authentic. The man was physically present when the image was taken. He is not a trick of the camera. He is not a later addition. He was there, standing behind the Bradley family in 1908. Kayla notes something else. The man's clothing is simple. A dark coat, a plain shirt, no tie, no watch chain. His style is slightly outdated, even for 1908. It is as if he dressed from an earlier decade, but there are no identifying details. No buttons with maker's marks, no distinctive fabric, nothing that could trace him to a tailor or a shop. The focus shifts to the second photograph, the 1928 image. Kayla performs a digital comparison. She overlays the face from 1908 with the face from 1928. She measures the distance between the eyes. She maps the structure of the ears. She traces the hairline. The match is nearly perfect. The variations are within the margin of photographic error. The man in 1908 and the man in 1928 are the same person. But 20 years have passed. A human being ages across 2 decades. Skin loses elasticity. Hair thins or grays. The face changes. Yet this man shows none of that. He appears frozen in time. Teagan returns to the donation box. She is searching now, driven by the anomaly. She goes through every envelope. She unfolds every paper. Inside a ledger, tucked between pages of household accounts, she finds a third photograph. It is dated 1948, 40 years after the first portrait. The image shows a wedding. The bride is young, smiling. The groom stands beside her. In the background, among the guests, Teagan finds the man again. He is partially obscured by other people. His face is turned slightly to the side, but it is him. The same face, the same unchanging presence. 4 decades have passed since 1908. The Bradley children are now in their 50s, but the man remains identical. The mystery has expanded. It is no longer a single photograph. It is a pattern across 40 years. Teagan contacts Navy, a professional genealogist. Navy specializes in building family trees. She traces bloodlines through census records, marriage certificates, and birth registrations. Teagan asks her to map the entire Bradley family. Navy spends 3 weeks on the project. She constructs a complete genealogical chart, every child, every marriage, every cousin. She follows the Bradley line back to the 1850s and forward to the present day. She identifies every person who could reasonably have been connected to the family. The man is not on the tree. He is not a distant cousin. He is not a step relative. He is not an in-law. Navy searches military records for anyone who served with the Bradley sons. She checks immigration records for anyone who arrived in the town between 1900 and 1910. She examines death records to see if anyone matching his description died and was buried locally. She finds nothing. The man has no legal existence. He was never born according to the records. He never died. He never married. He never owned property. He is a blank. Teagan decides to contact the donor. The box came from Regina, a descendant of the Bradley family. She is elderly now, living 2 states away. Teagan calls her and explains the photographs. Regina listens quietly. Regina confirms that the man was a family mystery. She grew up hearing about him. Her grandmother, Poppy Bradley, mentioned him occasionally. Poppy never knew his name. She only knew that he appeared in the family's life at certain moments, important moments. Regina shares a piece of family folklore. The Bradley children called him the Watcher. He was not feared. He was not considered dangerous, but he was unsettling. He appeared at weddings. He appeared at funerals. He appeared in photographs. And then he would vanish. No one knew where he went. No one knew where he came from. Regina's grandmother believed he was a family guardian of some kind. A spirit, perhaps, or a distant relative who chose to remain anonymous. Poppy told Regina that the family had accepted him as part of their story. They stopped trying to explain him. They simply acknowledged that he was there. The investigation takes a new direction. Teagan shifts her focus to the journals. The box contains several volumes written by Aurelia Bradley, the family matriarch. Teagan has been cataloging them, but now she reads them carefully, searching for any mention of the man. In a journal dated 1907, 1 year before the first portrait, Teagan finds an entry. Aurelia writes about a financial crisis. The mill was struggling, debts were mounting. The family feared they would lose everything. Aurelia describes a visitor. A man arrived at their door one evening. He was polite. He was soft-spoken. He asked to speak with Marcus. Aurelia does not record his name. She refers to him only as the stranger. The stranger offered advice. He suggested changes to the mill's operation. He recommended new suppliers. He pointed out inefficiencies in the workflow. Marcus followed his suggestions. Within 6 months, the mill was profitable again. The family was saved. Aurelia writes that the stranger asked for no payment. He refused money. He refused lodging. When Marcus pressed him, asking what he wanted in return, the stranger made a single request. He asked to be remembered. He asked to be included in the family's record. Marcus invited him to the 1908 portrait as a gesture of gratitude. This explains the first photograph, but it does not explain the second, or the third. Why would the stranger return in 1928? Why would he appear at a wedding in 1948? And why, across 4 decades, does he not age? Teagan cross-references the journals with letters written by Travis Bradley, the eldest son. Travis kept detailed correspondence with his own children. In a letter dated 1948, written shortly after the wedding photograph, Travis mentions the reception. He writes, "I thought I saw the old stranger at the reception. It must have been a trick of the light. He would be an old man by now, if he's even still with us." The letter reveals that the family was aware of the man. They recognized him across the years. But they rationalized his appearance. They told themselves it was a mistake. It had to be a mistake, because the alternative was impossible. Teagan convenes a meeting. She gathers everyone involved in the investigation: Vanessa, the historian; Kayla, the photograph analyst; Navy, the genealogist. They sit together and review the evidence. Kayla confirms that all 3 photographs are authentic. They are untampered. The man was physically present in each image. There are no signs of forgery, no signs of manipulation. The photographs are legitimate historical documents. Navy confirms that the man has no paper trail. She has searched every available record. She has followed every possible lead. The man does not exist in the legal or genealogical history of the town. He is a ghost in the archives. Vanessa proposes logical explanations. Perhaps it was not one man, but several. Perhaps the Bradleys knew a family of men who looked remarkably similar: father, son, grandson, each generation resembling the last. Perhaps the stranger in 1908 had a son who appeared in 1928. And that son had a son who appeared in 1948. But the photographic evidence contradicts this theory. The facial analysis is too precise. The features are too consistent. If these were different men, there would be variations, small differences, aging patterns, but the man in 1948 is identical to the man in 1908. Not similar, identical. Another theory is proposed. Perhaps the man lived off the grid. Perhaps he avoided all official records. No birth certificate, no census entry, no property ownership. It is possible, though rare, for someone to exist outside the bureaucratic system. But this theory does not explain the aging. Even if the man avoided records, he could not avoid biology. 40 years pass. A man in his 30s in 1908 would be in his 70s in 1948. Yet the photographs show no change. No gray hair, no wrinkles, no visible aging. The team reaches a conclusion. They have no scientific explanation. They have no historical explanation. The evidence exists. The photographs are real, but the story they tell is impossible. The Callahan County Historical Society officially catalogs the photographs. The label reads, Bradley Family, 1908, with unidentified man. The same label is applied to the 1928 and 1948 images. The man is archived as unknown. His identity is lost to history. The story is not about who he was. The story is that he was. A silent observer. A figure in the background of a family's life. He was there when they needed help. He was there when they celebrated. He was there when they gathered, and he was immortalized in their photographs. Forever unnamed, forever unchanged. The donation was meant to preserve the Bradley family's history. It succeeded, but it also preserved something else. A mystery, an impossibility, a man who appeared across 4 decades without aging a single day. Teagan closes the archive box. The photographs are stored in acid-free sleeves. The journals are placed in climate-controlled storage. The letters are cataloged and filed. The Bradley family is now part of the historical record, and so is the man. But the questions remain. Who was he? Why did he appear? Why did he not age? The family called him the Watcher. They accepted him as a part of their story. They stopped asking questions. They simply remembered him, as he requested. The Historical Society receives visitors. Researchers come to view the photographs. Students study the journals. Genealogists examine the family tree. And everyone asks the same question. Who is the man in the back? Some believe it is a photographic anomaly, a rare trick of light and chemistry. Others believe it is a family secret, a relative the Bradleys chose not to name. Still others believe it is something else, something that cannot be explained by history or science. The photographs are real. The family's story is documented. The journals and letters confirm the details, but the man remains a blank slate, a figure frozen in time, a presence without a past. Teagan has moved on to other projects, other donations, other archives. But she thinks about the man sometimes. She wonders if anyone will ever solve the mystery. She wonders if there is a solution to find. Regina, the descendant who donated the box, has since passed away. The current generation of Bradleys has no memory of the man. They know him only through the photographs, through the family folklore, through the journals that describe a stranger who saved their ancestors and asked only to be remembered. And he is remembered. Every time someone views the 1908 portrait, they see him standing in the back. Every time someone examines the 1928 photograph, they find him by the garden wall. Every time someone studies the 1948 wedding, they spot him in the crowd. He is remembered, but he is not known. His name is lost. His origin is lost. His fate is lost. He exists only in 3 photographs, spanning 40 years, unchanging and unexplained. The archive is open to the public. The photographs are available for viewing. The Bradley family's story is preserved. And the man in the back remains a mystery, a historical impossibility, a figure who was there, who is documented, but who cannot be explained. The evidence exists. The photographs are authentic. The journals are real. The letters confirm the family's awareness. But the man defies explanation. He is a blank space in the historical record, a presence without a name, an observer without an identity. The Callahan County Historical Society holds many mysteries. Lost family members, unidentified graves, buildings with unknown architects. But the man in the Bradley photographs is different. He is not lost. He is not unknown. He is visible. He is documented. He is present. He is simply impossible. The photographs remain on display. The journals remain in storage. The letters remain archived. And the man remains a mystery. Forever standing in the background. Forever unnamed. Forever unchanged. A silent presence in the Bradley family's history. A watcher who appeared, observed, and vanished. a man who asked to be remembered, and who has been remembered, though no one knows who he was. The investigation is closed. The cataloging is complete. The story has been told, but the mystery endures. The man in the back of the 1908 portrait has no name, and he never aged. The photographs are real. The family's story is documented, but the man remains unexplained. A blank slate, a historical impossibility, a mystery preserved in the archive. What do you think? Was it a trick of the camera, a family secret, or something else entirely? The photographs from the Callahan County Historical Society are real. The Bradley family story is documented. But the man in the back remains a mystery. Let us know what you believe. And for more historical mysteries like this one, subscribe.